Hello, chefs. Good evening. We are back again. I'm Isaiah, the young Jedi chef, here with the Dragon Warrior chef, German Lamb, and we will be your host for today's podcast. You are listening to a unique podcast where we will discuss tough yet real topics that need to be heard in the industry. In this podcast, you will hear the truth, real, raw, and unfiltered. Today, we have the honor of having Noreen, an emerging chef at the Culinary Institute of America, with us to talk about the effect that food has on your body. I'm excited to get started and jump right in. So without further ado, I will let the star of our show, our guest, Noreen, introduce herself. Noreen?
Hello, everyone. Thank you both for having me. It's such a pleasure to be joining you today. Like Isaiah said, my name is Noreen Mira. I am a student at the Culinary Institute of America. I am studying culinary arts. I have a background in healthcare. That's what I was doing before. I got my first bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Maryland, and I completed the post-baccalaureate pre-medical program at Columbia University. And through my time in healthcare, I really found my true passion in health and wellness and nutrition and decided to pivot into the food industry. So I am here at the Culinary Institute studying up food, studying up chefing, and hopefully will build a career towards addressing food insecurity, food inequity, and overall wellness.
Thank you, Chef. And in your background and your history is definitely the reason why we're all sitting here together today, because health and food definitely goes hand in hand. So this is definitely going to be a very educational and fruitful podcast. So we all at one point in our lives have experienced in one form of another unfortunate states in our body, mind, and soul, such as anger or aggression, mood swings, short temper, major loss in energy, obesity, shortened attention spans, joint pain, forgetfulness, and much more. The cause of these things can point to many different things, but can often be changed and prevented in how we treat our body, mind, spirit, and soul through food that we eat and the sufficient conditioning that we put our body and mind through. What we fuel our bodies with greatly impacts our performance on a daily basis. In order to fully understand the impact that food and exercise has on your body, we are going to start off with a tough yet very important question. In your personal life, what unpredictable and/or unfortunate event has happened in you or someone who is close to you lives that could have been prevented by diet and exercise? And what impact has this had on your life? Noreen?
Sure. I have two little examples I'd like to talk about. One is personal with me. Um, During COVID, I was working a lot. I was doing COVID testing. I was working as an EMT with the fire department, and I was doing a lot with my family to mitigate, the situation that we were in the pandemic. And I was not taking care of myself. So I wasn't eating well, I wasn't sleeping well, I wasn't hydrated. I didn't keep up my exercise routine or my yoga routine. And I found myself in the hospital twice. They could not really track down what the issue was. They just said it was gastritis, which is just inflammation of like the stomach tissue and stomach lining. They didn't know what caused it. I went to specialists. I did all these tests. Until now, the doctors are like, I think you were just stressed. I think you just weren't taking care of yourself. And those experiences were really scary because I had no idea what was going on and no one else did either. And it really forced me to reflect on how I take care of myself day in and day out. And losing sleep and not eating well in the long run are not helpful. Staying up late to finish work or to do a personal assignment is not going to help me if I'm collapsed on the floor the next day. And from that, I really have learned to prioritize my own wellness. And outside of that, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, God rest her soul, unfortunately had a long chronic illness, diabetes, and a lot of comorbidities with that. Her lifelong battle with diabetes was very difficult. She had type 2 diabetes, and it's not genetic in our family. So it was brought upon by lifestyle choices that comes with diet choices, and seeing how difficult the end of her life was very eye-opening, in that little choices that you make throughout your life can accumulate into a positive or negative consequence at the end. And perhaps had she had the resources growing up to eat better, she may have been able to prevent all of the issues that came with the disease, not just the disease itself, but everything that came with it, the issues with her extremities and mobility and, the liver and the kidneys. So it's really important to take care of yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. You have to be the leader in your own life, and you have to really think about your choices. It can be hard to access good meals, but with the internet there are a lot of resources out there that we can look into to learn about nutrition, about healthy lifestyle, and make those choices so that we can prevent any lifelong diseases from ending our lives early.
Thank you so much, Noreen. First, I want to say thank you so much for sharing that story. It's very touching, and I know me personally, I could definitely relate to your story in the way that sometimes in life you get so busy and you forget to take care of yourself, and that even led me to the emergency room in the hospital. So definitely those small choices make a huge difference. And then even with your grandmother, my grandfather died due to cancer because of over drinking and smoking, not taking care of himself. So it's definitely important. Those choices that you make will definitely come back to you in life. So thank you so much, Chef Lamb.
Well, first of all, Noreen, listening to your background, I love psychology. I mean, the medical field, I love the medical field. And for me, 7 years ago, cancer came into my world. And I'm not going to dive into all this detail because you could go to Amazon and you could, make a purchase on my book. The Dragon Turns to Water, Chef Germ Lamb Fights Cancer with a Freestyle Lifestyle. So think about the title of the book that I decided to have. And life, it's about freestyle. And cooking, it's about sanitation, respect, and safety. Those are the principles that you have to understand. And if you don't understand, you could get your family sick, you could get someone sick, you could get this food poison. And for me, I was a martial art expert, ate well, ate clean, and I got tagged with this beautiful disease. So for me, I learned a lot of things on my own. And what I mean by on your own is you're going through this journey in life. And the difference between myself and Isaiah and Noreen is there's a big age gap. There's a big age gap. It's not a small one, but there's a big one. And one thing is you can't speed up time and you can't reverse time. And you actually have to go through the journey of finding out what life really is and make a choice. I can share with you, this is how I approach it and this is what I do. I'm not sure if you're the dragon warrior or the phoenix warrior, right? Because to be a warrior, you got to be a special individual, because if you think about a disease, is 24/7. It doesn't take breaks, it doesn't discriminate, and it comes right at you, and it doesn't say hello, it just bang. And when it hits you, you're like, what the blank just happened? And here's this, no one it's going to be around you to pick you up. It's like Humpty Dumpty, right? That rhyme. He falls down and everybody comes around and supports him. But in reality, that's not the case. So that's where you have to really grow and decide and having good support. And one way it's like mentoring. So if you really look at this podcast, that's what I'm doing as a yoga warrior here. it's sharing my wisdom, like, hey, this is the Bible here. Now the question is, do you believe it? If you don't, have fun.
Yeah, Chef, you're definitely right in what you said, in the way that disease and stuff like that is 24/7. It's something that you have to live with, and if you don't take precautions to prevent it, you can't, you can't control the effects that it does to your body. So you definitely have to be conditioned in that way and be willing to make a change if you really want to see a change in your body and in your lifestyle. So again, thank you, chefs, for your stories. Very inspirational. It is important to realize that food is in the center of everything, and it has a greater impact on you than most people realize. What you put in your body will affect you later in life and can potentially heal you or hurt you. In order to live a healthy life, it is important to be educated on what is good or bad for you. Then it is important for you to implement the healthy habits into your life. What are your daily routines and eating habits? What keeps your mind sharp, your body fit, and your soul at peace? Noreen?
So I would like to preface my answer with the fact that I am very lucky to say I'm privileged, and I have access to resources that help me build a healthy daily, weekly, yearly routine. Um, and not I know not everyone has the same access that I do, so I just wanted to say, I'm very lucky and blessed to have that. And just going off of what Chef Lamb was saying, disease is 24/7. And to be completely transparent, I personally deal with depression. I've dealt with it for a very, very long time, since I was in middle school. And it's not something that just hangs out and doesn't bother you. It's something that I've learned how to manage. And what helps me keep me sharp, fit, and keep my soul at peace, especially with this illness that I deal with, is taking the advice, from my doctors. So I go every year, I do my yearly physical, I get my blood tests, I get reliable information from trustworthy people about my nutrition and about my lifestyle habits. And so through that, I've implemented daily or weekly yoga, because for me, that's important to center and to ground and to be present. It helps me reflect and be grateful and thankful. And that helps to keep me sharp and focused. As well, it's very important for me to sleep 7 to 8 hours every night. Every night. Sometimes that doesn't happen because life happens, but it's a priority. As well, making sure I have balanced meals. I eat a lot of vegetables. I love to have vegetables. I'm lucky living now in the Hudson Valley, especially in May, the start of the growing season. We have a lot of fresh, dark leafy vegetables, so I like to eat those. And staying hydrated as well with water, not soda, not coffee. Even though I do like my coffee in the morning, it's important to really get good quality hydration. And those little things, those little choices every day make a really big difference at the end of the week and the end of the month, and taking me, through the seasons, pushing myself through my career goals. If I'm not at 100%, I can't put out the energy that I need to accomplish my goals. So those things have been really helpful for me.
Thank you so much, Noreen. And just from listening to what you said, you even kind of inspired me, because even reflecting back as you were talking on my life, I realized that I don't prioritize sleep and yoga and meditation like that as much as I probably should. And I could often notice the difference in my life when I don't get sleep and I don't prioritize it. Sometimes my mind is really foggy. I can't think straight. I'm not able to really focus really well. So I think sleep really impacts the body and the mind so much more than we really think of it as. And like you said, with depression and everything, sleep definitely has a huge factor in that. If you get adequate sleep, then you feel better. So thank you so much, Noreen. Chef Lamb.
You know what? I'm coming it from a different point of view. And the different point of view is you have everything right in front of you. The question is, no one taught you how to maximize every ingredient. And that's the beauty of being a chef. Being a chef is I have onions, carrots, and celery, the foundation of cooking. From there, what do I have? Grains, legumes, dry spice, fresh herbs. If you have some protein, great, add some protein to it. So I look at it in a different way of maximize and think about sustainability and recycling. And meaning, how can you take anger, frustration, sorrow, happiness, and turn it into this powerful energy that you use on a daily basis? And that's what I did going through my journey of cancer. Because was I pissed off 24/7? Hell yeah. Would I forgive cancer? Fuck no. Why would I? You know what I mean? So, but that's me. That's how I am as a person. So you have to find that warrior where it helps you, understand that why discipline and structure is important, why that, ingredient of a carrot, you have to completely maximize it. That onion, that celery, why do you have to cook it the right way? Because if you don't, it's lost. So I teach in a different perspective that's so deep, and it's saying to you, don't tell me you don't have the means. So one way, it's like, as humans, we like to give an excuse to something because we don't have. You have everything in front of you. But the question is, do you have a dragon warrior in your circle? That right there is the key part, because without that, you become like a compass spinning around and not going where you want to go.
Yeah, I totally agree that you have everything you need inside of you to become, to your full potential. It's just like you said, you have to unlock it, and a lot of people just don't know how to unlock that full potential. They don't have somebody there to guide them and mentor them and show them the proper way. And I think this podcast definitely does a big thing because we're able to educate people and make it aware that it is possible to get on the right track. And that's the whole purpose of why we're all sitting here today, is to make that difference in at least one person's life, so it could impact many people. So thank you so much for that great advice. I know very well, personally, that it is not easy to stay disciplined in your diet and exercise. There are many factors that can lead us to going astray from our health and lead us to making unconscious health decisions and food choices. Although one bite might not hurt you, your choices can eventually turn into a habit that could lead into a lifestyle. So, how can someone resist the temptation of eating unhealthy or non beneficial foods? What do you do to substitute for or feed your temptations? Noreen?
So this is something I think that a lot of people struggle with, especially in the West, especially in modern times. We have so much access to snack foods and junk foods that are filled with preservatives and sugar and salt. And it's important to like read your nutrition facts and do your research. What is a simple solution for me that works is not having those things on hand in my home. So when I'm craving a bag of Doritos, it's not in my kitchen, so I'm not going to have it. And making sure to surround myself with other options that I like. Food is fuel, but it's not only fuel. It's a way to connect with people. It's a way to show love. It's a way to celebrate culture, tradition. It's a way to have pleasure too. You can enjoy your meal and it still be healthy. And so having things on hand that I like um, really helps curb those temptations of reaching for something that's not as beneficial or not as nutritious. And but everything is in moderation. I live life by that motto. So if I want a piece of chocolate cake, I will have a piece of chocolate cake, but it's not going to be every day. It's only going to be sometimes. And if I'm craving something like ice cream, I'm not going to eat it from the pint. I'm going to scoop just a couple of scoops into a separate cup or bowl and enjoy that. And that helps limit my portion size so that it's still within my moderation, but I can still enjoy, things that bring me pleasure that are just for fun or, for celebration.
Yeah, I really liked everything you said right there, and especially having things in moderation. Definitely is something to think of, because a lot of people, they take it, like you said, to the extreme where they'll eat it out of the pint, drink a bottle of juice straight from the things like that, to kind of where it's to the extreme, and it leads to lifestyle habits. So, and then I also really like what you said on food. It should be an experience, that it should be something you enjoy. So finding really the types of food that you enjoy, either culturally or something that your family used to make, that could still be healthy, still have all the essential, the protein, the grains, the vegetables, but making food interesting and something you look forward to creating and eating is definitely something that can excite you. And knowing that it's also good for your body is so much more exciting and so much more beneficial. So thank you so much, Noreen, Chef Lamb.
Whoa, I love that question and your comment. And I would say this: the yin and yang of life is the same as food. A lot of people can't balance the yin and yang in life. And there's a good reason, because you're the one that's driving it. So think about food, right? As a chef, I love all foods, whether it's canned, dry, frozen, packed, whatever it is. Why? Because I want to dissect and say, okay, who created this? Why did they create this? So food, in one way, it has a purpose and it has a stage and it has a journey, meaning, whether you're on the couch or whether you're, on a road trip, it has a purpose. And for you, it's like the body. You have to create it and you have to feel and sense it. So for both of you, I would say this part is very hard, because think about data, think about history. You're just starting. Where myself, I've been through it and I'm like, all right, this is what I need to do, right? So for me, it's really saying experiment. And that's what cooking is. That's what being a chef really is. It's an experiment to see, you hit, you fail. You hit, you fail. It's very simple. You hit and miss every day. And if you understand the logic, then you let it become free flow. You know what I mean? It's like I said, the ingredients will come to you and it will direct you of where you need to go. How much do you need to cook, or enough? So to me, it's that philosophy of understanding. And if you understand philosophy, then everything what Noreen mentioned, it will really be ABCs. That's what you have to understand.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Chef. It's about, kind of like you said, knowing what's good and what's not, and kind of you find that out by experimentation. But sometimes, yeah, you may not have the time to experiment with your health. So it's definitely good to educate yourself as much as possible, and kind of there's so many resources out there that you could use to kind of get information on what's right, what's wrong, and good for your body. So thank you again, chefs. One of the reasons that many people eat fast food and highly processed food is oftentimes because they lack time, money, and accessibility. And like I said before, there are many solutions to this problem. And I'm not perfect either. I definitely sometimes maybe find myself leaning towards the faster options and the quicker options, because the time of the day. But it's super, super important to kind of think about the choices you make on a daily basis. So what are some healthy, quick, easy, and inexpensive meals that people can prepare at home? And what is the benefit of a good home cooked meal, Noreen?
So I'll start with the second part of that question. Home cooked meals are really important for so many reasons. Not only is it, healthier because you're controlling what goes in it, you likely aren't going to use as much salt or sugar, and you're not going to use preservatives like a fast food restaurant may. But also, it's an opportunity for you to connect with yourself, to connect with your family, to create dishes that are significant culturally or just from family traditions, depending on the time of year and everything. It also allows you to take advantage of where you live. If you can get connected with the fresh produce or farmers markets nearby, you're eating what your local community is growing, and that's a way to, create relationships. And that makes home cooked meals extra special for me and very important. For me, the recipe that I go immediately to when I don't have time and I just need something quick and easy, there is this lentil soup that we have in Egypt. It's my family's from. It's called hats, which is just the Arabic word for lentils. We use the orange, like orange lentils. You just throw like a cup of lentils with like chopped onion, big chunks, it doesn't matter. Throw a garlic clove in there, some like half a tomato, and some water, and you just let it cook until the lentils have burst, and you just blend it. And you can top it with sauteed veg, you can top it with fried onions. We eat it with bread and some salad, and that's my favorite meal. It's really easy. We don't eat a lot of lentils in the West. In the Middle East, we use a lot of lentils. I love them because they're full of nutrients and they have a good amount of protein, good amount of fiber. They're really, really inexpensive, especially when you buy them from in bulk. Rice is the same thing. I eat a lot of rice because you can buy that in bulk. It's easy to make and it's inexpensive as well. And like I said, if you can get connected with like local farmers, sometimes you can find things and vegetables that are, more affordable than you thought, and they're fresh. They're super nutrient dense, and so you don't need as much of them as you would something commercially grown that doesn't have much flavor, doesn't have much nutrients. And so that's what I like to lean into.
Yeah, I definitely love your suggestion on a lentil soup. I love a good lentil soup. Super flavorful and very impactful positively on your body. And I definitely love your suggestions on how cooking at home is all about the connection and getting the relationship you build with those you cook with, and the ingredients, where you get the ingredients from, how it connects you to your community. And it benefits more than just you and your body. It benefits the relationships that you nurture, and it benefits you, the local businesses. So many things are benefited by cooking at home. So thank you so much, Noreen. Chef Lamb.
Whoa, I love this right here. You're giving me a blank page and my signature item, oatmeal. Why oatmeal? I have it through breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, 24/7. Why? It's cost effective. For $10, I could buy 10 pounds of oatmeal. You know how long 10 pounds of oatmeal will last you? It'll last you through the month. And for me, everything that you're mentioning about, and Noreen, what, information that you're saying about how, right? Think of it as working out. This is where martial art and working out goes hand in hand. You have to create a style that fits who you are. But before that happens, you really have to dissect, And to me, oatmeal, dry cranberries, I put fresh fruit, then I put some nice yogurt in there, nice banana in there, or better yet, some frozen berries. Why do I use frozen berries? Because it's cost effective. Fresh, yeah, but what's wrong with frozen? So now is understanding, what type of ingredients that you are going to get value and maximize, right? So now this is where your math comes in. So there's so many things that you got to think about. Is it practical? Is it effective? And can you do this on a daily basis? So it's like working out. Oh, someone could say, well, I'm not a member of the gym. No problem. You got the park. You could do calisthenics. What's wrong with that? It's free. So to me, I always think about free things, because the more you think about that, you are going to actually come out with some ideas that you go, wow. But the brain has to work, right? The brain has to turn. So
Yeah, definitely like what you said on there's definitely a solution to anything. You know, like you say, you don't need a gym. You have your house where you could do calisthenics, do push-ups, do sit-ups, something like that every day. A little bit makes a big difference. And oatmeal, definitely a go-to food. So many things that it does for your mind and your body. And it's a good carbohydrate as opposed to other things such as, you know, processed white bread, all this other stuff. It's has a negative effect. Oatmeal is a whole grain that has very positive effects on your body. So definitely a and something very cheap, like you said, that anybody could start implementing in their daily life. So thank you so much, chefs, for that. So last to wrap it up, first of all, very, very, very impactful. I've learned and gained so much from this call so far. So with a few minutes left, 2 minutes each, what is the last words of advice that you guys may have for the people watching? Anything that you want to say, anything that you believe will help them? Noreen?
Number one, please sleep. Please sleep. If you don't get good sleep throughout your life, it can cut years off of your age, really. It can cause so many problems that you can't even begin to list. It's a long list and a lot of issues with the brain and focus. So please sleep. Please go see a doctor if you have the means to. Do your physical every year. I know a lot of people my age and younger, not a lot of people do that, but go every year, get your blood tests. It's information, information about yourself, and information is power. You can better make decisions when you have all the information. And drink water, drink water. And like Chef Lamb said, take the time to maximize your resources. We all have different levels of access to different things. Use what's around you, do what you can to keep yourself well, because you're going to be the only one that is in charge of that. No one's going to do it for you. So watch yourself, sleep well, drink water, and take care.
Thank you so much, Noreen. I love how you said watch yourself, get those physicals done, because I believe a lot of people are afraid of doing that because they're afraid of what they might find out. But it's essential to kind of know what's wrong in order to fix the problem and go at it. So, Chef Lamb, last minute advice.
whoa, body, mind, spirit, and food. They all have to connect as one, and they have to be A plus 24/7. Not too many people that I meet on a daily basis has all four connected, because that's really hard. Think about this, the body. To sculpture your body the way you would like it, whether you have bad habits or good habits, to actually conform and keep it during as you age. The mind, making sure you have philosophies, making sure you understand principles, because it's going to direct you. Then the spirit, this is where the warrior spirit comes to life. You don't even have to turn it on. It activates. Then the food, you got the food groups. They're so beautiful. Incorporate them as one. And the last thing, learn to fast. Fasting is so powerful, because think about it. You don't eat one day to, oh, when I went through my cancer journey, I wasn't able to eat for 6 weeks. And when that came to an end, I was like, damn, I am this. Think about that. It's not that I couldn't. My treatment of proton and chemo would not let me. My doctors couldn't do anything for me. You know who had to do something for you? Yourself. And that is where the best gift that you have, when you have a challenge, or better yet, when you have an opponent that's going to take you down, you rise up to the occasion. So to me, think about that. 6 week, not able to eat every day you wake up, because your body, it's not same. So I learned something right there. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Fasting is definitely could be beneficial to your body and with not overeating and everything. So it's definitely a good point that you mentioned, Chef Lamb. So once again, thank you guys so much for being a part of this call. It really means a lot. I know that the words that have been said today, it will definitely impact many people, not only watching, but the people that are surrounded by those that are watching. So again, thank you so much. Here in this call, we have made history and we have helped lead the future and onto something great. So again, I really appreciate you guys. Until next time, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chef Noreen.
Thank you, Chef Lamb, and thank you, Chef Isaiah. So honored to be here with you guys today.
Thank you.